Spreads on XFM. This is Josh Widdicombe, still with producer Neil.
Morning.
James Acaster.
Yeah.
Now, as a Christmas special, we were doing Strange Place You Spent Christmas Day, but you've catering every time.
Every time catering, every time perfect.
Strange Place You Spent New Year.
I don't really do gigs on New Year. I did one once, and I accepted it. It was in Gloucester, which is a bit of a way away from Kettering. I was still living in Kettering at the time, and it was in Gloucester, and my friend Jake didn't want to drink on New Year's Eve, so he was like, "Can I come with you to your gig?" And then I won't. I'll just be hanging out with you. So yep, sure, we'll both go to Gloucester together. He hadn't really seen me do many gigs. And on the day, I realised I didn't even know where the venue was. So I emailed the promoter going, where exactly in Gloucester am I going to? And he went, St Margaret's Church. I was like, well, that sounds like a church. And he went, yeah, it's a church. You're just playing to the congregation. So you didn't tell me it was a gig.
Which is how a lot of your gigs are.
Yeah. Well, the congregation by the end, mate. But so I didn't know. And I turned up, and it wasn't just comedy. I was the only comedian on. No, there was two comics on. One of which was the promoter himself, who went to the church and everyone knew him. I got there and there was like basically, so there was like the stage and there was like a whole dance floor empty, and then the audience. And I was like, why are the audience so far away from the stage? And they went, oh, because they want later on they'll be dancing, so we can't put chairs on the dance floor, so they're going to have to be over there. It's like, right, and they're like, you're on second, and we'd like you to do 45 minutes if you can. Like, right, okay, fine. And before me was a young teenager who went to the church, who had been having guitar lessons, and went on and played a completely unmiked version of Blackbird, but just in the church. It sounded beautiful, but so sad, and just played Blackbird with it. And then he came off, and the vicar went on, and again, unmiked again, just went, there's Matthew there, he's been practicing, hasn't he? It's very, very good, Matthew. Very good there. It's a good little round of applause for Matthew. Anyway, now we've got some comedy. This is James Acaster. And then he walked off, and then they didn't really hear him say, so I just walked on, so I made out my name, and they kind of clapped, not knowing.
So were you thinking this is bad?
I'm the only person there who didn't go to the church who was performing. Like everyone else, all the other performers went to the church.
Why have you
Been
been booked?
booked by the promoter, had seen me at a gig. He's just the normal circuit. He'd seen me at a gig. Just thought, James doesn't swear much. He'll go down well on New Year's Eve in front of the church. So, he got me on that.
You're getting paid?
I was getting paid, but not, I don't care if he hears this now. He'll admit, not enough. Not enough that most people get paid for New Year's Eve gigs. But anyway, so I went on, and there was a drum kit that was behind a lot of times in churches, to soundproof drum kits, they put like this, like it almost looks like bulletproof glass around the drums, really high. So I went on and I pointed at that and went, man, you guys really love Jesus, but you hate drummers. You're having to put him behind bulletproof glass. Just silence. Silence.
I mean, that's worth a laugh, isn't it?
It's worth a little bit. They really didn't like it. So then I started. I just played a silence for 40 minutes, really bad.
Did you ever consider coming off stage?
No. At that time, I thought I better do my time. I thought I've got to be a professional. There were little kids skidding on their knees on the dance floor.
During your set?
While I was on, just skidding like they're at a wedding. I came off, and my friend Jake was just shaking his head. He just went, "That was horrible." Oh yeah, I know. I said, "Let's just go." I went to get our train, and it's a long story. So should we pick it up? There's a part 2 to this.
Yeah,
that's part 1.
Let's pick it up after Smith and Burrows, When the Thames Froze.
Josh Widdicombe Podcast XFM.
When the Thames Froze, Smith and Burrows on XFM. We were halfway through James Acaster's worst New Year of all time.
Yes. I'd done the awful gig. I died in front of the whole church. And me and my friend Jake going to get our train.
In many ways, for their sins.
Yeah, for their sins. They took it well. Went to the train station, missed our train. So we decided we were obviously going to stay. The worst night you can be stranded somewhere, because the pubs will be open all night. We can just, we were like, let's go to a pub, celebrate New Year's in Gloucester, and we'll get the train home tomorrow. All the pubs were ticketed, couldn't get in any of the pubs. Went to a KFC, which is where we saw in the New Year. sitting in KFC together while a gang of teenagers threatened the staff, and that's when New Year rolled around.
Oh my word!
And then Jake said, "I've been thinking, and I think we're going to have to." I was like, "Oh no, I know what we've got to do. I know we've got to go back to the church because that's our only option. We haven't got enough money for a hotel between us." So we went back to the church, and they were just like finishing up their gig and walking out. So me and Jake were kind of standing outside, and everyone was like looking at, oh no, it's that guy again. I said to one of the leaders, "Can we stay anywhere?" And this young lad who was doing the sound went, "You can stay at mine. My parents, parents won't mind." So we went to stay at this guy's house. I slept in the spare bedroom, and Jake slept in the office. And we're trying to sneak out in the morning, and his mum popped her head out and went, "Oh, you off? You can have some breakfast if you like. I'll make us all breakfast." Jake just went, "Nah, I shouldn't have thought so." which he doesn't know. He's not a rude person.
Right.
He just doesn't know that sounds rude. So she looks she was like, "Oh, okay, well, where are you going?" "Like, we're going to Kettering." And she went, "Oh, I've got friends who live there." They had a really long chat about Kettering, and then she was halfway through a sentence going, "And then I think me and Jean went to Wixty Pub," and then Jake just went, "Actually, we will have breakfast." Okay, so we all sat down with the family. She said, "Oh, we all saw you last night doing your comedy. It's very brave." But I said, "Well, what jobs do you do? What do you do for a living?" And the guy went, the dad said, "Oh, I'm a doctor." And Jake went, "I knew that already. I already knew you were a doctor." The guy went, "How did you know?" He went, "Because you put me up in the office last night, and I got bored. I started looking through the letter rack, and I found a picture of a breast." That was his detective work. Found a picture of a breast. So it was really awkward. And then on the way home, I said to Jake, I said to him, "What was that? Why did you say that? Why did you say to the guy you found a picture of a breast in his letter rack?" And Jake's defence, he said it could have been worse. I could have said tit. But that was, yeah, that was...
Oh, what a new year.